Hi, today I'm gonna continue talking about depression. Okay, so this will be part two. Um, at the end of my part one, that my battery ran out. The end of my part one, I was talking about the the issue between parent and child. You know, when a child is caught up in a difficult situation with the parents, and the parent don't understand what the child is going through, and there's you know problem, there's issue in the family, and the child has no escape because it's underage and all that stuff. There's nobody to depend on, and that is a very difficult situation for the child that can make the child become very depressed, because of the family situation, and especially when the child get you know all kinds of verbal abuse from the parents, and that's very unfortunate that things happen. So when that, just like I mentioned, um, the child has to be as a teenager, especially this for teenager, you have to really understand, just like I mentioned, that parents or adults, they don't always understand um, um, life is what life is, what you're going through. Okay, so you have to accept the reality. Okay, that there are many things that adults don't understand, because if they do, they wouldn't be fighting with you. Okay, they cannot see your perspective. Okay, so in that case, there's things that you may, if you have somebody to talk to, you want to, you would, you need to have an option. If you can find an adult, whether school counselor, or your aunts or uncles or whoever that you can trust, or you can vent, a little bit, let them know what's going on, and is that can be very helpful, because otherwise you would feel so lonely, growing up in a family that that doesn't like you. That's really difficult. Okay, but in any case, you have to be yourself in a way. In another word, that you have to understand that, okay, this is what it is. Okay, what can I do is, one one is, I promise myself, okay, to be a good person. I'm not gonna be like that when I grow up. See, that's one important thing that you can learn. There's always things that you can extract from any situation. When you see a situation, something that's not good, you can always learn from something. You don't just learn from everything that's rosy. You learn from difficult situations, from difficult people, difficult moments. That's when you become a great person. See, all the great heroes, um, they don't become heroes because they just breeze through life. They become hero. They become good, great person because they they understand the obstacle and they overcome it. So turn this situation into a lesson, an experience that you can extract from. So one other thing is, you said to yourself, see, an adult that hurt children or hurt me is very bad. So I promise myself, when I grow up, I will not do that to my children or to any children, because that's not the right, because I don't like it. So I should not do this thing to my kids in the future. See, that's one thing that you can learn from. Then then you will be a much bigger, better person when you grow up. Because believe me, everyone grow up, and this time, the time that you're going through right now, it will pass. Okay, so just hang on and just be yourself. Do the best and just don't fight. And not that's my second recommendation. Don't fight. Don't react to any verbal abuse. Just keep it, you know, uh, you know, away from you. Don't say okay, whatever. They don't understand. Okay, so that's the part that continue from part one of my talk regarding that. Also, I want to mention something. Um, when you clap your hands, right, you make a sound. Okay, so the sound come out from the clapping hands. Okay, needs two hands. You cannot make the sound with just one hand, right? Okay. So now I'm gonna turn my attention to the children, to the who is in this because in order to have whatever going through the fire, whatever that bring the situation into this state, there needs to be two, you know, uh, figures involved. Okay, so regarding the child, you as a teenager, okay, you also need to find out about yourself that you are also part of this. I'm not see another word. I'm not saying the parents wrong, you're right, or parents right and you are wrong. The teenagers are wrong, or the kids are wrong. Because sometimes there are many times the kids you don't see the parents' perspective. That's also the reason. Okay, and most of the time the it started out the parents have good intention. Okay, it's just that it doesn't work out the way you as a child expected. So you have to do a fight and a fight and it's proliferate. One thing leads to another and it gets bigger and it gets uglier. And that's a very toxic environment that you need to stop. Okay, because sometimes, like for example, let's say you are as a teenager, especially a teenager, you want something, or especially wherever your high-tech gadget or whatnot, whatever it is, but it doesn't go with what your parents think. It's to go against their idea, their principle or whatnot. Okay, so you have to also understand that you need to find out. Don't just say, let's say you say something, you want something, you present something, and you just say no, and then you get all upset and mad and walk away, right? You need to become an adult in a way. You need to present your option, your point, why. Okay, you say, Dad, Mom, you know, I like to do this, I like to do that. Here's the reason why, this, that. See, that's all about in Buddhism called desire. See, that is in Buddhism, desire is the cause of all the issues. Okay, so watch what you desire, because when you don't get what you want, then you have problem. You see, and that's normally happens a lot in a family, and you get into a fight, and one thing leads after another. You start hating at each other, and you stop talking to each other you know because of desire. Okay, so that's one thing that I like to encourage you as a child, as a teenager, to become more responsible on your part. Okay, to express yourself in a way. Don't bring anger to the table when you talk, because anger never solve any problem. Okay, never solve any issue. You have to present it in a very responsible way. say, okay, dad, mom, this is the reason why I want this, I want that, because you have to also understand parents, and most of the parents, a lot of the parents, when it comes to financial responsibility and they have their budget, they have things that they have to take care of, they cannot always, meet what you want. Okay, you have to understand that also, because once when you grow up, you're gonna find out there's so many things that adults have have to go through that you kids don't understand. See, so there has to be a give and take in between you and your parents. But the biggest thing is, I would suggest you talk, okay, and talk without anger, okay, and make some kind of compromise and understanding. That's how you develop a living, a livable atmosphere in the family, okay. And it doesn't matter whether you're a child, but even though you're a child, you can be the lead in this. Okay, dad, mom, I like to have a talk. There's nothing wrong with that. You can, say it like that instead of being angry and shut yourself, in the room, play game all the time. That's that's not productive at all. You know, and just be on your smart device, all the time and chatting. That's not true living. All right. So that's the thing cover about you know when it comes to issue between parents and teenager in the family. And while on that subject, teenagers, also I just want to touch a little bit on the school side. I know these days the teenagers who go in the middle school and high school, they have a lot of peer pressure. Okay, so this is um, very very important that you have to understand. If in school there are all kinds of kids around from different background, different age and whatnot. You have to look at all your friends and everybody at school. That there's so many kinds, okay, so many culture, so many background, and have different religious background, race and country and all that stuff. And everyone is showing off their whatever, okay. So you have to know who you are, okay, because I know as a teenager you have a lot of pressure on you that you have to be you have to belong, belong to a certain group or whatnot, because and sometimes you want to be popular and think all things see all this that when it comes to desire, just like I said again earlier, desire brings a lot of pressure to you unnecessarily, okay. You see your friends, and they have all kinds of brand name clothing, okay, brand name some electronic gadget, iPhone, watches, and who knows whatever games and all that stuff, the latest technology that you can't wait to get your hands on. All of those stuff, those are desires, okay. Watch those desires because those are the main culprits that brings a lot of pressure to yourself. Let's see, it's only important because you think, oh, it's like it's important to my image. In other words, it's important to who that makes me somebody, at school. To be important, I have to have all these things. You see, that's what a lot of teenagers think. See, when you think that is important, then you get the thing confused, and now you're looking for financial backup from your parents, to meet your needs, okay, to fulfill your desire, so that you have so that you can feel popular or important in school and keep up with the your friends and all that stuff, and that bring issue to to back to the family. All right, see, that's not fair. Okay, and you think that image is everything, you know, all of those, whatever that makes you feel important. Okay, and because of that, because of what you think that might make you important, at school, you create your own stress. You create your own pressure that you bring home with you. Okay, because let's say if somebody flash you on a new iPhone or a new Samsung um, smart gadget or something, or a game, or brand name shoes or clothes. If you if you think it's important and you want those things, then you bring pressure on. You bring stress on yourself because you want those also to become important like them. But if you don't think that those items are important, there's no stress. See, it's not when it's not important to you, whatever. See, that's the thing, that your mind is controlling you without you knowing. Okay, as being a teenager, because you're a teenager, your mind is developing, so you don't understand how the mind works yet. Okay, see those things, but when you think it's important, when it's really it's just object, but you make it important, then you bring pressure to yourself. See, item is just item, it's your desire. Okay, so you have to watch that. Okay, you don't have to go with the flow, you know just if you can do with what you need, you absolutely need, for your school, for your homework, or things like that. Okay, you need that, you tell your parents, I'm sure they will come up with something. But for desire, well, that depends, because all those things here create a lot of problems, a lot of issues. So that's what that. So that's my word to you as a teenager. There's no need to. Well, it's probably easy for me to say, but I went through. I was a teenager once. And, my friend had all the Nike shoes and all these chains. But for me, it was just maybe it's just the natural way that I was brought up. I don't know. Brand name is not important to me. I just need to have what is that I need for schooling, because I don't go to school to show off brand name. I go to school to learn, to study. See, I have a different thing to looking at the school. I would say I'm not going there to compete for anything. Go there to learn and make friends. Okay, no need to compete. So watch that desire. You don't have to belong to any group or anything. Okay, but be nice. See, the most important, be humble, be nice. All right. So that's about talking about issue in family. Now the other thing on depression, I just want to talk about one more short thing regarding what we call PTSD. Right. This is a very deep one. People who has PTSD normally, let's say, military veterans, right? First responder, people who get to witness things with their own eye. They actually experiencing, police officer, who respond to, especially, shooting scene, you know, you see blood, you see, fire, and of course the military people who will come back from the combat, they see things, okay, that you will not imagine. And also people who used to live in the war, okay, because unfortunately, the world has war, and war has all produced all kinds of issue in fact, all kinds of trauma in people mentality. It's screw up people. Right now you see the war going on right in the Middle East, and Syria or whatnot, all over the place. Imagine the families who go through that, who went through that, and now they are here. Let's say, okay, they're here in America, but the memories is here. Okay, what they saw with their eyes, what they experienced in the war, the loss that they have, their family who lost their loved ones, lost their child, their children, lost their spouse, their parents in a war, in a combat. It's beyond what I can describe. Unless somebody experienced it themselves, there's no way to describe it. Okay, and this thing carries on, and people have nightmares. Oh, and this is one difficult thing that you're not gonna be able to erase it from your mind. See, that is tough, and that leads to a lot of depression issue. Okay, so people like that, one of the things that I would recommend, right now there are many states who have approved medical marijuana, so I support that. Okay, because people when they get into that mental state, every now and then they sort of like lost in a dark moment. They need a break, you know. So the medication can help, them to break from that mental state. Okay, but when you clear from that, what you need to realize, need to understand, and this is deep in the Buddha's teaching also. It's called about living in the past. Okay, it's not that to forget about the memory. Nobody can forget about the memories. Memory is always there. Okay, but you cannot live. I know it's easy to say. When it happened, because the brain, the way the brain work is like this. Okay, let's say you go, you have a normal conversation, right? Or you go seeing things and stuff like that. There's a trigger. It's always triggers. You talk, and then some subject come up. It triggers the memory, right? It triggers your memory to the past. And that memory in the past is an unpleasant one, from bad experience. And now you're beginning to bring that memory into the present time. Okay, so when you bring that memories into the present time, you create the same emotion, the same feeling, and you living the experience over again. See, that's the part that you need to train your mind, and this is very difficult. Okay, but you have to try, because there's nobody else can do this but yourself. You have to understand one of the things that a lot of people these days, most people go through, is just like this. I'm gonna take this quote from Ajahn Brahm. I'm not sure if you guys know Ajahn Brahm. Ajahn Brahm have a simile about two suitcases. You have two suitcase on both hands, one left and one right. The left suitcase is the past, and the right suitcase is the future. Okay, everyone walks with a suitcase on both hands. Okay, and they're heavy after a while, and they keep carrying it without knowing why they're carrying it. Okay, that's what it means by you carrying you. If you just put them down, both the past and the present, I mean the past luggage and the future luggage, then you're here, then you're now. Okay, you're in the present time. So another word, memories is always gonna be there, but it's up to you to decide if you want to let that memory rules your life, or you can let that memory be memory. Okay, see, this is important. So you have to follow your thought all the time, because the triggers happen at any moment, anywhere, anytime. From conversation, from the scene that you see anywhere, from the movie, or from song, from all kinds of stuff, from taste, from smell, right? From the sound, all kinds. These are all triggers that comes into your mind, and it triggers your memory and makes you a relapse, and you start going through this. So what you have to learn to observe the flow of of your of your mind. Okay, when you start thinking about, start to go into a relapse, thinking about, whatever, you can stop. You say, okay, all right, I went through it. That is okay. You can accept it. Yes, that was I had to do. And or being like, I had to do, being a military person, or let's say we went through war, you lost family members, like I had. I we went my family went through war. We lost my sister, we lost my father, we lost my grandma in the war. It's pretty bad, but that was memory. Okay, when something happened, it triggers those. What I do is, okay, I got it. That was memory. There's no need to bring that back, and then you sit down here crying and being sad again, and become depressed. Or maybe I shouldn't have done this, or maybe I should have done that. Or there's no blaming that needs to go through. What happened in the past happened in the past. Let it be gone. Okay, because I know memory is still gonna be there, but that's fine. You can always think of them, of things. All right, that's okay, that's cool. It wasn't cool then, but right now I'm not gonna let that be the ruler of my present life. The present moment is what it is where I am right now. I'm not in the past. Okay, so this is what you need to learn to tell yourself. Okay, and that's the only way. So you have to learn to observe it. Don't let the triggers come in and do this thing again, and then you went and then do it again. Then it will, you know it will just keep growing bigger and bigger if you don't know how this thing develop. So watch out for these triggers. Triggers happen all the time, from through coming through this the five senses that we have. Okay, and it triggers the memories all the time. Even, and not even that, I mean, even during the regular daily normal life that we have these triggers that create anger, create hatred. These are all triggers into the memory. It's the same thing. We used to, we used to like somebody, or we used to not like somebody. Okay, and when something happens, you hear something, triggers, boom, this emotion come out as conversation. Oh, this I like it. Oh man, if you start to follow, you will you got to a point, say, what the heck is this mind is doing? That is, doing all this thing here without asking me. You just, the mind just do the stuff without asking you permission. Okay, say, hey, I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be sad. Why you trigger this and bring me back to the past? All right, stop. See, you can do that. See, but it's only you, and you have to do this. You have to train your own mind. That's what it means. You and your mind are sort of like two separate entities. Okay, you can be at peace. Don't let your mind bring you into a situation that you don't like. You like to be happy. You like to be at peace. So be at that. If your mind try to bring you back to the past, to have those, you can say, oh, no, stop. That's it. Okay, so that's what I have for today. All right, hopefully I offer a couple of things that can be valuable to you. All right, have a wonderful day. Bye.